National Urban League presents Emerging Voices from the Pandemic. Students speak out. Across the United States, students like me were able to tell our stories about learning during the COVID-19 pandemic. Connected students ask the questions, while disconnected and reconnected students share their lived experiences. There's a lot to learn from us. Are you ready? True stories, real students, useful recommendations.
At first, I was connected at the beginning of the school year, but then as the year went on, I became disconnected.
So, Salena, with that disconnect, what actually caused that? What started it all?
It's just, we wake up just to stare at a screen for 6 hours a day, and it just, motivation went down, and I just didn't feel like doing anything.
So, how are you coping with that? The fact that we aren't able to see our teachers in person and make those connections that we're used to?
I haven't really found a way to cope with that. I mean, in class, my teachers try to be engaging, but it's not the same as the classroom setting. Before COVID, class was pretty fun. I like doing projects, and I attended a lot of after-school activities.
Not being able to go to your after-school activities, has that really affected you?
Yes. I just, like after school, I'm just at home and that's it. There's nothing to do, and I'm half the time just laying there. Well, you know, I was in NAHS, National Art Honor Society.
Yep.
And then I attended
Back in the day.
SGA, Student Government Association. You know the senior shirts we got with Hey Arnold on it?
Yes.
I was the one who suggested that, you know?
Wow. So when the pandemic first hit, were you prepared to just go straight into remote?
I was kind of prepared because I've taken online classes before, but it's been over a year now.
Yeah.
So it's just been tiring.
It's like a year and a half now. It's crazy.
Yeah, pretty much.
So even though you had the experience, you still found yourself disconnected this year. Was it the time spent or?
It was the time spent and not being able to, interact with anybody.
Yeah. So just the longevity of it. It's not a long-term solution for you.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I feel that. I've also taken some classes online and I feel the same way you do. I was somewhat prepared for those and I took them. I've taken some courses so I'd have less on our schedule for our senior year. So I took health and that type of stuff online, but having everything online it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
So our senior year has really just been atrocious. How has that been affecting you mentally with not being able to go to prom and our graduation having limited tickets and just not being able to have all the same opportunities or the same experiences that we were expecting to have?
It's just depressing. I see on Instagram my other friends that go to, different schools, they were able to go to prom, and it's just sad. And
So you know that we're on teams and everything almost every single day. So how has that engagement changed? Not being able to raise our hands and all of that. Do you still answer questions in class or?
Well, it's, the awkward silence after a teacher asks a question.
Yeah, the worst.
It's pretty much always that. And even though we may know someone in the same class, we can't really interact with anyone.
So how are you making up for that? Are you actually asking questions still? Because I remember when we were in school before, you were always the one to, shyly raise your hand, but you still rose your hand. So are you still doing that, or does it just feel like you don't have a space to even do that anymore?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't even answer questions anymore.
Not even in the chat or anything?
I mean, I try to in the chat when the silence goes on for too long.
So what do you think teachers can do to actually, help the engagement, make you feel like you're more involved?
You know how we have icebreakers and stuff?
Yeah.
They should do that, even though they're cheesy and we don't like it. I think they should still try to do that. Or, have open discussions about, what's going on in the world today and pop culture.
Like how Mr. Pat does.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
Yes.
I love his class.
He does a good job of doing that.
Like, he's like one of the few teachers that I've been excited to, get to meet and go to class for.
What's so special about Mr. Pat? What is the environment that he brings to your education, even though it is over, Teams or Zoom or whatever?
He's very energetic and goofy, and we can tell he really likes teaching, and he really cares about his students.
Yeah, Pat really is a good teacher because he genuinely he does care about us, and he always tries to, make sure that we're being met where we are. Are there any distractions or anything that has been keeping you from, being able to learn at your full capacity?
Not really distractions. I sometimes have to miss class to take care of my brother. He's 3, he turned 4 this year, and I think he's in his terrible 2 stage, and it extended.
Yeah.
But my mom is out at work. She's a bus driver, and my dad, he usually he does DoorDash, so it's really just me and him at home. I just feel bad when teachers call on me to answer questions, and I really can't answer, and it's just awkward.
So now that we have the choice if we can go in or not, why did you choose to still remain virtual?
It was mainly because me and my family, we were just unsure about what to do and what was really going on. So my parents just felt it was safer for me to be at home.
I understand that. I actually chose to go in person, and my family had the same concerns, but for me, at the beginning I was very disconnected, and now I'm a very connected person because I was able to go back in person. So I understand. It was a tough call to make. Salena, did you have anyone that was helping you along the way? Someone you could talk to?
Well, I had very few really close friends. There's one I talked to. I've known him since middle school, and then you reached out to me.
So how did that help? How did those people or the people that were closest to you help you get through that tough time?
It made me feel less alone, and I felt more encouraged to get connected again.
So when we were virtual, what was one thing that was, continuously giving you hope and joy?
Oh, one thing I picked up was painting.
Yeah.
I have a whole bucket of acrylic paint, and I have big canvases and small canvases, and I like to do that in my downtime.
You have to show me some of those later, okay?
Mm-hmm.